Hey YouTubers, it's DIYDan here. Today I'm going to show you how to change the rear brake pads on a Porsche 928 S4. Okay, the first thing we got to do is jack up the car, and the 928 has a couple of jack points. We've got one right here and then also on the other side, and then up front we have one right here, and there's also one on the other side as well. And what you want to do is, if you don't have one, you can use a block of wood, or you can use one of these jack plates right here. In this jack plate, see, it goes especially right in that little hole, and when you jack it, it doesn't damage the car. So I'm going to go ahead and get my car jacked up. I like to partially jack up the car, but still leave the rear tire on the ground so that way I can loosen up my lug nut. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. My 19mm and breaker bar. Next thing we want to do is remove this brake pad sensor wire out of here. So we got that off. And then we want to take a set of needle nose pliers and then squeeze together, unclip it. That should come out. And then try and get the brake pad sensor, slide that out. And I'm just rocking it back and forth. There we go. And with that out, we now have access to our brake pads. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to move the pistons, the brake caliper pistons, back as far back as possible so we can get the new brake pads in. So what I like to do is take a flathead screwdriver and jam it in between the old brake pad and then press against the rotor, and as you can see, it moves the pistons back. Once that's done, pad should slide right out. Next step I like to do is go ahead and clean everything off. Once we got everything cleaned up, we just want to slide in the new brake pads. Might have to use your fingers to push back the cylinders just a little bit more. Okay, after you get the brake pads in, lower the bracket and we'll insert our brake pad sensor. If you've triggered the brake pad wear sensor on your dash, more than likely you're going to have to replace these. And you just push in and it will finally lock into place, like so. Okay, after you get your brake pad sensor in, it's time to lock in this bracket. Okay, once we got the bracket locked in, we want to get this sensor wire locked back into place. So what we want to do is, I like to spray a little bit of WD-40, and then it'll help slide it in better into that little notch. Before you button everything up, you want to press the brake pedal a few times, and it will firm up. Alright, everything feels good, so let's go ahead and put the wheel on. Now I'm just snugging them up right now. And now I'm going to torque them down.